Nilipuliziwa dawa. I don't dawa nikapigwa. Whoever you are and wherever you are, you never know peace.
In Kenya today, the cries of children, women, and even men echo across the nation. Cries of fear, pain, and injustice. Gender-based violence is no longer a social crisis, but a national crisis. Over 2,000 cases have been reported in the previous year, with nearly 200 women killed. As we stand in 2025, the question is no longer, does gender-based violence exist? Rather, what are we doing to stop it? To help us understand this issue, we spoke to Sandra Osore, a psychologist who works at the GBVRC Center, and she shared her points on the impacts, causes, and ways the community can help to end GBV. Let's listen to her experience.
My name is Zara Sandra. I interned at a GBVRC Center. Basically, a GBVRC Center is a gender-based recovery center where victims of gender-based violence come to seek help and seek assistance, mostly medical assistance and some legal assistance to some extent. As I was working there, I got to interact with a lot of people, a lot of victims that I did a physical examination on, mental assessment, and also talked to them just to offer some counseling and also educate them on how to better themselves, how to avoid those situations again in life. So gender-based violence is a general term that has subtitles. Some of them are IPV, which is intimate partner violence. That's an intimate partner, a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend. There is also sexual abuse, sexual assault. Sexual abuse is more of the vulgar talking, vulgar speech, and sexual abuse is more on the, sexual harassment is more on the physicality of what that person was doing. Was there inappropriate touching? That's what sexual harassment is all about. So, and all that, there's defilement, there's rape. Defilement is for children under the age of 18. Anyone under the age of 18 in the Kenyan constitution is considered a minor, so that is defilement. Then rape is anyone who is 18 and above, and rape is non-consensual sex, like it's not consented by one of the parties, and that's the person who becomes the victim, and then the person who performs the act is the perpetrator. So some of the terminologies that we use is alleged perpetrator, because we don't know for sure if this person is the perpetrator, but when we listen to the victim's story, this person is an alleged suspect, an alleged perpetrator. Some of the issues that I encountered there, and one of the major issues that was there was poverty. Many people who are living in poverty, single mothers, children to single mothers are more prone to the predators more than people who are living in middle class and high class and people who have both parents, because the perpetrators usually look for people who are vulnerable, who they can take advantage of and who won't be able to find any justice for themselves. So most of the clients there, you would find they are coming from a single mom, single parent household, or they're coming from a low class household that the mom has to wake up very early in the morning, leaves for work, and comes very late in the evening. So you'll find the perpetrator is just a neighbor who's nearby, who takes advantage on the children, and some of them don't even understand what's going on, because some perpetrators actually tell them it's just a game, especially for the younger ones. It's just a game we are going to play. When you feel painful, I'm going to give you a sweet. Don't tell mom about it. Don't tell dad, because if you tell them, they'll make us stop playing, and the child just wants to play. So they end up being a victim, and they are assaulted for quite some time before it's actually known, because most of the cases you'd find they normally shower by themselves. But this one day, I washed my kid and I found that she's bleeding or she's in pain in these areas. And then I chose to bring her to hospital. So when we're doing the physical examination, you actually come to find out that there was an assault that was going on. It is either anal, oral, or vaginal, which is determined by physical tests. If it is oral, there is bruising on the upper part of the mouth. There's also bruising on the teeth. If it is anal, there is the elasticity of the anus is not there, so it's not intact. And if it is vaginal, there is hymen. The hymen, we say the hymen is absent. So I think some of the ways that we can help this, we can fix this thing, the gender-based violence that is going on, is by educating people. Because I feel like most of the people, even when we are doing IPV, which is intimate partner violence, most of those people, you find the wife is not working, they didn't study until maybe high school, past high school, so they don't have anything to fend for themselves. And the husband is taking advantage of that, so he's beating the wife and telling her there's no way you can go. You find that mother has 7 children, no means of getting their daily bread, so they choose to sit there and take that abuse in the name of the children studying. So I feel like one of the major ways is to educate the public and tell them there is no joy in violence. You don't have to sacrifice your life because of that violence. You have to understand that there are so many other things that you can do for yourself that can help you get your daily bread, that don't involve you going through violence. We need to educate the public that once that person is vulgar, starts being vulgar, that's your cue to leave. You don't need to sit there and wait until that vulgarity becomes physical. I also feel like we should also educate the society about rape in general, defilement, and the cares that they should take. Because some cases that I dealt with, the child was assaulted 2 years ago, she's pregnant, she has a child, and then that's the time the mom is coming to report that. But had she reported that, would have administered ECP, which is emergency contraceptive pills, which helps for females who are past puberty not to conceive or not to get a child. Some of them come when they are positive. And when we say they're positive, we mean HIV positive, which would have been prevented if they came earlier, within 72 hours of the assault, so that we can administer PEP, which helps in ensuring the client does not contract the sickness in the case that the perpetrator was positive. Also, there are so many other tests that are done. There's the test for STIs, for any infection. And if you're found with any infection, you're just given medication. And the good thing about this is that in the government hospitals, all these services are free. So you will just come, you're given something called a waiver. A waiver waives you for all the treatments that you need. That's consultation, if there is pharmacy, if there's ultrasound, and if there's also counseling. It waives all that. So you're able to receive treatment without being charged for any amount, which is very helpful in the case that no one can stand and say, I didn't have the money to go to hospital. You just need to find some little money for fare and just come to the hospital and get the treatment that you need. I also do feel like people need to be alert of their children, of their sisters, brothers, everyone all together. Because some of these people are assaulted and they don't want to report. They don't say anything about it. They just keep quiet. But there are those mental health symptoms that they may have that show that there's a traumatic event that happened, that if you dig deeper, you come to find this person was sodomized at some point, or this person was exposed to pornographic materials, or this person was actually assaulted, raped, or defiled. So I feel like we should be very keen with the people around us, check for any new behaviors that were not there before. Maybe the person used to be talkative and they don't talk anymore as much as they used to. That's already a red flag. If the person used to like sitting in social organizations, interacting with people, and all of a sudden they're antisocial, they don't like to interact, it feels like a chore to them, that's another red flag. If this person is self-harming, there's some people who go to the extent of burning themselves, they cut their wrists. Those are some of the things you can check out for people who you're living around with, just in case one of them was assaulted or harassed in one way, got traumatized by the event, but didn't share it. So you can be able to take them to the hospital, which will later be reported, and they will be assisted in the ways that are needed.
This presentation seeks to shed light on the rising cases of gender-based violence in Kenya, exploring the impacts on individuals and the community at large, and the need for collective action from the government, from the community, and each one of us. When we stand together against gender-based violence, we stand for life. I've been your host, Benta Modley.